What's going on, everyone? It's your host, the Mad, the Dashing, Dash Jovis. And, I'm not having fun in Master Duel right now, you know? I don't want to drop the game entirely because I am still looking forward to some of the upcoming sets, and it's not it's not the worst it's been. But I'm not having as much fun as I was even during Snake Eye format, you know? And, it's kind of been a rough format because of Maxx for a long time anyways, and unfortunately a lot of decks are not very good at beating those blowout cards if they don't have an immediate answer to them. And then because Maxx is in the format, you have to have Called by the Grave at 2 in the format, and that makes it so that you're just minigaming the whole time. And then the Lancea minigame that gets introduced, which also plays in the Maxx minigame, Maliss being the best deck, but not by very much, and easy to prey on by Ryzeal is not the most exciting meta, and the Ryzeal mirrors are pretty fun, but then you have to sleeve up Ryzeal and go second against Maliss, knowing that you either run Lancea and have to see it in the matchup, or you don't run Lancea, and then you get, cooked by it. Basically, not no matter what, and Lancea by itself doesn't immediately end the game every time either, but yeah, I'm not enjoying this meta. I think there have been times in my career where I've lost more than I've been losing right now, for sure. And, for me, a lot of it is just about the making progress in my life. Getting better at this thing. Becoming 25th in the world in the last World Championship qualifiers was a huge deal to me, and I got pretty high, and I want to try and do well in the next Duelist Cup. So I can't abandon this meta, but you're going to be seeing a lot less of me while this is the format, because, I definitely will be streaming my my attempt at the Duelist Cup, so I have to get better with the Maliss deck. But right now, Master Duel is non-game after non-game after non-game. And I get that I'm losing some of those games that I could be winning because I misplay. I'm human and I make mistakes, and I'm not trying to cap with myself and pretend that I played perfectly and that I deserve to be doing better than this all the time. But it really, I don't know how much fun I'm having in a world where it's just, do we hit you with the Lancea or the Fualos or the Meows? Or if you're playing Ryzeal, then do you have the Droll or the Perulia? Or, it's just that's what Yu-Gi-Oh! Has basically evolved into, is do I see my blowout, and if not, then whoever goes first wins. That's not the whole game, but you have to play that game before you get to the actual part of the game that I enjoy playing in Yu-Gi-Oh! So I don't know, I'm really frustrated with this. I'm really frustrated that Konami would release these cards without even hitting Appaloosa. That's crazy. That's absolutely, it's insane behavior. It's criminal behavior. You just don't care about your players, Konami. These cards are problems because they're banned in the other formats. And Maxx we can debate a little bit about, but I don't see why Maxx is so important to keep in the game. Especially not now that we have Mulcharmies, which are basically just fixed versions of Maxx. Be rid of it. Why not just ban it? Do we really want games to come down to the Maxx minigame all the time? Do we really want everything to be about, did I see enough hand traps going second? And some of this stuff kind of gets fixed coming up very soon. I'm excited to play a really I have a Vanquish Soul Canine list that I'm excited to play as soon as Vanquish Soul Canine is available on the client. I am excited for some of the deck building opportunities that are going to pop up in my near future. But, even Yummy, I'm not that excited to build, but, I'll build it, probably, It looks better than Maliss. It looks less toxic than Maliss. It still looks really strong. I'm not trying to say that it's weaker than Maliss. It's probably stronger than Maliss in its respective meta. But it's not as cheesy as Maliss, Like, Maliss is just... It's a recipe for creating non-games. And I get that there's a lot of very good, very real games that happen in between those things. And a lot of ways that a non-game can be won or lost based on those misplays that one side or the other side makes. But, I don't like having to play a minigame before I get to the part of the game that's actually fun all the time. And, like, I don't think Lancea is the problem. I think the problem is that that they've let Maliss be this powerful so that people are main decking Lancea. You know? Like, it's an ignorant deck. It's just such a fucking ignorant deck. And it's not fun to play because in a format where that deck is at full power, everyone's running Lancea. So you just have an even bigger fucking minigame to play now. It's this big, multi-level, complicated... It's kind of interesting. It's interesting from a deck building perspective. Like, I had fun building my new Maliss deck, but I wasn't having fun playing my new Maliss deck, you know? And I don't know, I feel like something's got to change. So, like, yeah, basically, don't expect me to be doing this daily for the next little while at least. I will still try and get some hours in, and I will still do the Duelist Cup on my streaming site, on Twitch. Yeah, I don't love this meta. It's not good. Ryzeal is a good deck. I think Ryzeal is... It's still really strong. It's still power creep at its finest, but, like, there's things you can do to play against Ryzeal that will give you an edge in the matchup that are also not death sentences against the other decks in the meta. You know, whereas, like, you know, Meowth either really gets them or doesn't, you know? Purulia gets most people a very little bit, but gets some people really hard, right? And then you just have so many cards like that, and then Lancea and Called by the Grave and Crossout Designator to add it to it, because it would be a different thing if you just mathematically built your deck to see enough hand traps, and then saw them and hoped to see them in the combinations that you needed them in to win the game. And you're doing that anyway, but now you have to make room for Maxx, and one of your hand traps is always Ash Blossom, which is a low impact hand trap that I probably wouldn't be running in this meta at all if Maxx didn't exist. I mean, maybe Vanquish Soul would still run it in a world without Maxx, but, like, only because it needs fire attribute cards that are actually somewhat playable so badly. That's it. And, like, zombie decks can make use of Ash. Like, there's still cool applications for Ash, but, like, Ash becomes way less important. If you look at, like, TCG lists, Ash is way less important in a world without Maxx, and I think even with Mulcharmies in the picture. So, like, I don't know, I feel like, and Ash isn't the worst offender. It's the fucking Called by the Graves that answer any of your hand traps. So you build your deck to see 2 to 3 hand traps, and you see 2 to 3 hand traps, and 2 to 3 hand traps isn't enough to stop them, and even if it was, they had Called by the Grave. Like, how is that fun? You know? Like, I don't think they should have hit Ryzeal yet, probably, but they definitely should have hit Maliss. Maliss had a whole extra month of ruling the roost, and they were just about to give it more support, and the fact that they didn't, that lost a lot of my confidence in Konami. I thought for sure they were going to ban Appaloosa at least, and probably Link Decoder too. And that would have been a good start. It would have made the deck a whole lot less ignorant. And it would have meant that when I did get to combo off, I didn't do as big a thing today. That's true, but I also wouldn't have had to play against the deck doing that thing, and people might not be so inclined to all be running 3 Lanceas in a way to search it, you know? Like, because that's the other thing. That's the one advantage Ryzeal has in a metagame where a lot of people are playing Maliss, is that they can search Lancea. Like, that's its real edge. That's the actual thing that makes Ryzeal the best performing deck right now, is that it's a ladder full of people trying out the new Maliss cards and fucking, like, in my opinion, I don't know that for sure. I haven't done extensive analysis of any of this either, so I don't know. But, yeah, I'm hoping that next month they will actually hit these decks somewhat. I think Ryziel could probably use a hit, to be honest. I don't know. I'm torn on that. I'm not sure if it's absolutely necessary right away. Whereas, like, I am sure in Maliss's case it is kind of absolutely necessary. You have to make the deck less ignorant. But, you know, I do still want to play enough of the game that I can, you know, not lose all of the skills that I built over the past year playing this game. Right? Like, I feel like if I take too long a break, then I'm not gonna play well for even longer, you know, like I'm not going to rise to my full potential, because for me a lot of it is about the growth and the developing. So there will still be some streams, and I will still do some videos, and I'll do discussion videos like this one, and yeah, I don't know, what do you guys think? What do you think it was reasonable for Konami to let Maliss have everything and no limitations except for Gold Sarcophagus at 2? Like, is that actually like okay? Like, was that smart? Like, did they do it because that way everyone has to buy the new Maliss cards? Which I would have bought them anyway. We still wanted to play some Maliss during Maliss format. It's not like I wouldn't have played the Maliss deck ever, you know? Like, I just wouldn't hate playing it as much. And it might take a few waves of bans before it gets to that point for me, too. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. If you have any suggestions about what you think the next ban list should look like, then please leave them down in the comments, and maybe we'll get a discussion going about that. And, bye!